Mula rito sa PTB4 Headquarters, Quezon City, kasama ang isa sa mga nangungunang broadcast journalist sa bansa, Cesar Soriano. Tunghayan ang isang oras na paglalakbay sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Pagkilala sa mayamang kultura at tradisyon sa iba't ibang panig ng Pilipinas. Samahan siya sa pagtuklas sa mga natatanging yaman ng bansa, kasabay ng pagbibigay ng mga mahalagang impormasyon para sa sambayanang Pilipino. Magandang gabi, Pilipinas!
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas! Ako po si Cesar Soriano, nagbibigay-pugay sa mga Pilipino sa lahat ng sulok ng mundo. Samahan ninyo ako sa isang oras na pagtalakay sa mga mahalagang issue sa ating lipunan at sa mga kwentong sumasalamin sa ating pagka-Pilipino.
You are not authorized to conduct maritime patrol within the territorial sea.
It is not us who is doing this illegal, but it is, in fact, China.
Government vessels are not allowed to enter.
Sila ang squatter, illegal occupant sila dito.
We call on our people to stand behind the government to secure the national interest.
Huwag tayong magbulag-bulagan sa nangyayari sa buong mundo. And if we say na imposibleng mangyari sa atin, we are already falling into the narrative of our enemies. Dapat laging handa tayo.
Naging mainit ang palitan ng radio challenge sa pagitan ng Philippine at Chinese Coast Guard.
Sinabi ng barko ng Pilipinas na lumalabag ang barko ng China sa collision regulations.
A series of alleged offenses by the Chinese Coast Guard were continuously being reported these past few months.
China says its Coast Guard's blocking of Philippine vessels on Sunday was a necessary and lawful measure.
Patindi ng patindi ang tensyong nagaganap sa kanlurang teritoryo ng bansa, ang West Philippine Sea.
You are within Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone.
Hukbong dagat sa hukbong dagat. Sa lawak ng karagatan, nagmatigasan ang Pilipinas at kalapit na bansang China sa pagbabandera ng karapatan at soberanya sa naturang teritoryo.
You are not authorized to conduct maritime patrol.
Nalampasan man ng bansa ang mga serye ng panghihimasok ng mga manlulupig na sumisiil sa ating kalayaan at habang humaharap ang kabilang panig ng mundo sa tunggaliang tila walang katapusan. Ang namumuong tensyong ito na kaya ang pahiwatig sa hamong kahaharapin ng kasalukuyang henerasyon ng mga Pilipino?
I appeal for unity and solidarity in our efforts to perfect our hard-fought freedom and achieve genuine national progress.
Para sa Pangulo, sa panahong ito, higit kailanman, kinakailangan na magkaisa ang bawat Pilipino sa pagkamit ng kinabukasang maunlad at malaya. Gayun din ang panawagan ng sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas, lalong-lalo na sa hanay ng depensang nagtataguyod sa kasarinlan ng bansa. Kaya naman sa pamumuno ni AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Brawner, mahigpit nitong bilin sa hukbo na maging kaisa sa pagtupad sa sinumpaang tungkulin, ang ipagtanggol ang bawat mamamayan at ang inang bayan mula sa anumang banta. Sa edisyong ito na Magandang Gabi Pilipinas, alamin natin mula mismo kay General Brawner ang pagsisikap at paghahanda ng puwersang pangseguridad sa mga nagbabadyang banta sa loob at labas ng bansa. At sa buhos ng suporta mula sa labas ng bansa, paano sinisiguro ng pamahalaan ng interes ng Pilipinas ang mangingibabaw higit sa kung ano paman.
Dahil saan po tayo, General Brawner? Binaliktad tayo ng China, sinasabi nila that we are in a confrontational behavior. And that's the reason why the Chinese government accused the Philippines of having this confrontational behavior. Sinasabi nga nila, this will not do any good to resolve the conflict in the West Philippine Sea. How do you respond to this?
It's very obvious. We have the evidence, we have videos, we have pictures, we have stories from the fisher folks, from the fishermen, from our own personnel who are in the West Philippine Sea. So talagang lahat ng ito, they collaborate to give the message that it is not us who is doing this illegal, aggressive, coercive and dangerous tactics, but it is in fact China who is doing that.
I believe that you have had communications, coordinations with the other counterparts in the military of the other ASEAN nations. Ano yung mga napapag-usapan ninyo? Are they one in saying China is really the aggressor? They are the ones in the confrontational mood?
Alam nyo, I think it was in August of this year, I attended the Chiefs of Defense Conference in Fiji. At dito sa conference na ito, there were 24 of us who attended from different nations, including NATO.
China was there?
For the first time, nag-attend ang China. Nag-discuss kami ng mga issues, particularly dun sa South China Sea. In fact, I was given the opportunity to give a presentation. At dun sa presentation ko, pinakita ko yung ginagawang mga taktika ng China. At in fact, nagulat yung representative ng China. Halos lahat kami na mga chiefs of defense forces around the world, no? Particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, we were one in saying that we have to follow the international rules-based order. Dapat ang conduct natin dito, when we go out to sea, dito sa West Philippine Sea or even sa South China Sea, is that we have to follow rules.
Ka-clarify ko lang, sir. So, in that assembly, naniwala, na-convince lahat ang mga chiefs ng defense forces ng iba't ibang bansa na sila nga ang aggressor, sila yung nagko-confrontational.
Well, hindi naman na parang pinagbibintangan natin sila, no? But we were one in saying that everybody should follow that rules-based international order. At nag-show of hands kami, no? Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you do not.
What was the response of China?
Thumbs up.
So that means?
Well, yun yung kanilang propaganda. For me, that is their propaganda to the world, that they follow the rules. After my presentation, tatlo yung sinagot nila. No? Number one, they follow the rules, international rules. Number two, South China Sea belongs to them, according to history. And number three, 2016 arbitral ruling, where we won that case, tayo, Pilipinas. Sabi nila, they do not recognize it. In fact, for them, it is just drama.
Balik tayo dito sa nangyayari because that's the basis bakit we are saying binaliktad tayo. Ano nga ba ang nangyari sa first Scarborough Shoal lately? Can you tell us, sir, yung detalye, bakit sinasabi natin na sumusobra na sila sa ginagawa nila?
Actually, kung titingnan natin yung history nito, nagkaroon tayo ng standoff nung nakaraan, no? When we sent a Philippine Navy ship to accost some of the Chinese in that area dahil gumaang illegal yung ginagawa nila.
Sa Baho de Masinloc.
Sa Baho de Masinloc. So they, in response, they sent also a Navy ship at nagkaroon ng standoff. We now would like to prevent yung mga ganong occurrences. So ang nangyari was that we left the area expecting them to leave also. Hindi na nila iniwan. No? So parang inangkin na nila yung Baho de Masinloc. But if you look at the map, yung Baho de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal is only about 120 nautical miles away from the nearest shoreline ng Pilipinas. Whereas sa kanila, it is 475 nautical miles away from the nearest shoreline ng China. Talagang kung titignan mo, dapat sa atin ito, no? And in fact, it is inside our 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. So talagang dapat tayo yung nangingisda dyan. Pero ngayon, ang ginawa nila ay kinokontrol nila. And recently, naglatag sila nitong mga boya, no? A barrier of buoys. Hindi makapasok yung mga mangingisda natin. And this is illegal, no? This is not according to international rules. In fact, it provides a hazard, yung sinasabi nilang maritime hazard. Delikado. Because if you run through that, pwede masira yung
pala mo, pala ng barko.
Ng barko. And so ang ginawa natin, no, sa utos ng ating Pangulo, pinutol natin ito. Tinanggal natin.
Sir, just to be clear, meron ba talaga silang pagbabawal na mangisda ang ating mga mangingisda sa lugar na ito?
Yes, very clear. Pagka dumarating yung mga mangingisda natin, itinataboy nila. Pag dumarating yung Coast Guard natin or even Navy ship, sina-challenge tayo. Sinasabi nila, get out of Chinese territory.
So what happened lately?
So
yung
lately,
Philippine Navy,
Philippine Navy
natin, ang kainkwentro
our Philippine Navy was doing its routine maritime patrol. So it's normal because it is within our right, no, to do that. So umaandar siya, dumadaan siya sa Scarborough Shoal. At ito ngayon yung Chinese ship.
Chinese Navy.
Chinese Navy. No? So, Navy to Navy na naman. So, china-challenge tayo. Nag-challenge rin tayo sa kanila. China-challenge rin natin sila na sinasabi natin that we are performing a routinary maritime patrol mission. Do not block our path.
So, in that situation, masyadong mapanganib ang nangyari.
Very dangerous yung ginagawa ng China na nakita nyo naman, not only in the Scarborough Shoal, pati dun sa Ayungin Shoal, kung nag-re-resupply tayo.
Okay, so you're talking about the Ayungin Shoal. Ano bang nangyari talaga? Muntik ding magbangkaan?
Again, dahil meron tayong mga detachments, no, posts. For instance, yung BRP Sierra Madre natin, which is a Philippine Navy commissioned vessel. Hanggang ngayon, kahit na nabalaho siya dito sa Ayungin Shoal, it is still a commissioned vessel. Hindi natin dini-commission yan. So, may mga tropa tayo dun sa loob. The 9 features that we are occupying, may mga tao tayo.
Same as other ASEAN nations na meron din sila kanya-kanya mga sundalo sa kanilang mga inaangkin na isla.
Hindi lamang tayo ang nandyan, no? Nandyan yung Vietnam. Sila ang may pinakamaraming features na ino-occupy. 21 features. And then, tayo, we have 9. China has 7.
Okay.
No, but out of the 7, marami dun yung mga artificial islands na sila mismo ang gumawa. No? And then we have also Taiwan in the area. We have Brunei. We have Malaysia and other claimants.
Sir, by looking at the video, itong BRP Sierra Madre, kinalawang and sinasabi ng China na kayo ang nagpapadumi sa dagat. Kailangan alisin nyo na yan. How important is the BRP Sierra Madre's locations? Bakit we have to maintain that?
Napakahalaga, napaka-strategic kasi ng Ayungin Shoal. No? Once na iniwan natin yan, definitely kukunin ng China. In fact, napakalapit ng isang occupied island nila. It's very near. No? Kaya't nakikita namin na kung talagang aalis tayo dyan, if we remove our vessel, they will come in and get it. That is our assessment. Okay? So, hindi natin iwan yan.
Hindi natin iiwan at hindi natin aalisin.
Yes.
And we are now planning to make some refurbishment.
Ang ginagawa natin is we are making sure that it is habitable, no? Livable. At yung mga tao natin ay syempre hindi naman exposed sa mga elements, dapat protektado pa rin sila.
General Bronner, what exactly is the Chinese strategy in the West Philippine Sea? Madalas, sinasabi nila na wala na. Tapos, bigla namang nandun na naman yung 300 vessels. 100 vessels reports na merong habol ng ating mga mangingisda. Ano ba yung strategy ng China? Tumahimik, tas bigla na namang dumami.
Gusto talaga nilang angkinin yung buong South China Sea. And this is evident by the 10-dash line na linabas nila yung bagong mapa nila.
Dati 9-dash line.
9-dash line. At nag-decide yung International Arbitral Court at sinabi na illegal yan. Illegal
pero
yan.
dinagdagan pa nila.
So dinagdagan nila ng isa. At yung isang dash na yon, kung ito po yung Taiwan, naglagay sila ng isa pang dash dito. No? Ibig sabihin, inaangkin nila lahat yan. Of course, tayo naman, hindi natin inaangkin yung buong South China Sea. Ang inaangkin lang natin is the West Philippine Sea, which is bounded by our 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone.
May nakaabang ba ng mga barko na humaharang sa nagpapatrol ng mga foreign vessels? Do you have any information how they do it? I
always say that the name of the game is effective presence. No? Kung sino yung nandyan sa lugar, siya ang may control.
And sadly, hindi tayo madalas.
Hindi tayo madalas kasi iilan lang naman yung barko natin. Iilan din lang yung barko ng Coast Guard. Mabuti nga ngayon, meron tayong BFAR. So, kasama natin lahat yon. We have now a comprehensive effort also among all the agencies in government who are there in the West Philippine Sea to also project our presence.
Much has been said about the islands developed by the Chinese government. Much has been said about itong pag-militarize nila sa mga isla doon. Can you tell us, ano pa yung isla na ginawa nila? How powerful is that island? Nagdala ba sila ng mga missile dyan? Ano-ano mga infra dyan na nakakatulong para sa kanilang military might?
As far back as 1995, nung unang nakita natin na merong structure doon na ginawa ng China, when we called their attention, ang sinabi lang is that shelter ito para sa mga fishermen. Kapag may mga bagyo sa lugar, pwede silang punta doon para safe.
Nagpapalusot.
After a few years, na hindi natin pinapansin or napapansin man natin, pero wala tayong magawa. Lumaki itong mga ito. Ngayon, dito sa mga artificial islands na ginawa nila, they have runways, mahahaba na mga airports, mga ports kung saan pwedeng magtago yung mga malalaking mga barko nila. And the international community, there are studies that came out that says that there are now missiles on these artificial islands.
And that's the reason why they are so brave. Itong mga helicopters na dumadaan, kagaya nung last few days na dumaan yung helicopter ng Canada, ay tinala ng flares. Nagprotesta sila ngayon. Ganun sila ka-powerful, ka-ready sa kung sino man ang dumating doon at mag-invade sa kanila. How strategic is that location, sir?
In fact, these are military fortresses, we believe. Na talagang pagka hindi madaling atakihin itong mga to. These are well defended. They can project their military might through these artificial islands.
Is the nearest island from China to the Philippines na pwedeng kung magkagulo, doon manggagaling yung puputok laban sa atin.
Pwede rin.
And that's really something na dapat maging maalarma tayo, sir.
Oo, dapat. In fact, pinoprotesta natin itong mga ito.
Sir, yung mga islands nila masyadong preparado, maraming mga developments, infra, military-wise. What about Pag-asa? What's our plan? Ano ang pwede nating gawin para masabi naman na meron tayong laban dito?
Well, recently, pinuntahan namin yung Pag-asa Island. Kasama po namin si Speaker of the House, Speaker Romualdez, and other members of the House of Representatives. At nakita nila yung mga kailangan natin gawin dun sa Pag-asa para ma-develop natin ito. Not just as a military base, but as a tourist spot. So, nakita natin na ngayon maganda na yung runway natin, pero hindi pa masyadong mahaba. Kaya't magdadagdag sila ng pondo para mapahaba pa natin.
Sir, despite our efforts, marami nagsasabi kulang pa din. And we need our allies. And that's the reason why sinasabi, lahat daw ng mga suggestions, okay tayo kung Amerika ang nagsasabi, ito gawin natin, ito gawin ganyan. We are being dictated by the US government. Is that true or not? Sasagutin po yan ni General Bronner pagkatapos po ng ilang paalala.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas! Magandang gabi, Pilipinas!
Pag inoccupy ng Pilipinas ang Hainan Island, yun, illegal occupation yun. Pero yun, nandito sila within our 200-mile exclusive economic zone. Sila ang squatter, illegal occupant sila dito.
Matapang ang naging pahayag ng sangay ng depensa ng Pilipinas sa patuloy na pag-aangkin ng China sa West Philippine Sea. Saan pa ni Defense Secretary Gilbert Chodoro Jr. gagawa ng seryosong hakbang ang bansa para panagutin ang China sa mga iligal na aktibidad nito sa ating teritoryo. Noong nakarang buwan nang naghain ang bansa ng panibagong diplomatic protest laban sa China kaugnay ng dangerous maneuvers na ginawa ng barko nito na naging dahilan upang mabangga nito ang barko ng Pilipinas. Ilang bansa rin ang nakiisa sa pagkundina sa mapangahas na aksyon ng China. Kabilang na rito ang Estados Unidos sa pangunguna ni US President Joe Biden.
I want to be clear. I want to be very clear. The United States defense commitment to the Philippines is ironclad. The United States defense agreement to the Philippines is ironclad. Any attack on the Filipino aircraft vessels or armed forces will invoke our mutual defense treaty with the Philippines.
Sa gitna nito, may ilang tila may agam-agam sa posibleng hakbang ng kalyadong bansa sakaling lumala pa ang tensyon sa pinag-aagawang teritoryo. Dahil pangamba ng ilan, baka bumalik lang tayo sa nakaraang may nagdidikta sa ating kalayaan.
General Bronner, the U.S. government has repeatedly said they will immediately react once our military planes, vessels are attacked by China. Ano yung stand nyo dito? And do you really think that the U.S. will do this? What's the scenario that you are seeing?
So under the Mutual Defense Treaty that we have with the U.S., if any one of our countries are attacked, whether in our land or our vessels in the sea, the other country will come to the rescue or will support and defend also that ally. No? So ally natin yung United States. So mutual yon. Kaya Mutual Defense Treaty. If there's an attack also on American vessels, we will definitely go in to assist them, no? To protect them and to defend them.
So we're just so confident that once we're attacked, nandyan yung US.
Yes, and in fact, si mismong President Biden ang nagsabi recently that if anything happens in the South China Sea, particularly an armed attack on our vessels or an attack on land, they will come to our aid.
So dyan ba nagsisimula, General, yung sinasabi na, siyempre, nandito kami para sa inyo, kung anong sabihin namin, you just have to follow because this is the right thing to do. Naging diktador daw ang US sa atin?
Hindi totoo yun. No? I totally disagree. In fact, tayo ang nagdidikta. No? Because we have our own interests no? in our country. And ang ginawa natin was that as part of the treaty, Mutual Defense Treaty, we have now this MDB-SEB, Mutual Defense Board, and Security Engagement Board. Yung Mutual Defense Board deals with the traditional defense activities. For instance, yung mga balikatan exercises natin when it comes to mga military exercise. The Security Engagement Board deals with other activities other than military activities. For instance, humanitarian assistance and disaster response, yung mga engineering assistance natin sa mga iba't ibang mga lugar, and so on. No? Hindi military related. Marami tayong ginagawang mga activities with the United States because they are our ally.
And this includes joint patrols, drills in the West Philippine Sea, including Australia, Japan, South Korea, and other countries supportive of the Philippines.
Yes. So right now, we have a visiting forces agreement with the United States, which allows them to come here on a temporary basis so that we could train together and we could operate together in terms of, let's say, joint sales. Meron din tayong similar agreement with Australia.
Are you saying that these drills could not provoke China?
No, it has been happening for several years. In fact, yung balikatan exercise natin has been going on for more than 3 decades
So
already.
Can China also have joint patrol with the Philippines?
Well, we have a memorandum of agreement with them on defense cooperation.
With China?
With China. Kaya nga nagpapadala tayo ng mga officers na nag-aaral doon. Officers and enlisted personnel. Sa ngayon, for instance, dahil nga sa mga nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea, pinahinto muna natin yung pagpapadala ng mga officers because we fear also for the safety of our officers, no? Na pinapadala natin doon.
You're zeroing in on the safety of our soldiers, of our officers. Right in the West Philippine Sea, the islands there, may sinabi kasi si former President Duterte. He's saying, may mga pinagagawan tayo doon, hindi naman isla, pinalibutan lang naman ng tubig yun. And wala naman tayong kalaban-laban dyan. Malalagay lang sa panganib ang ating mga sundalo. Ibigay na lang natin yung mga isla na yan dahil marami namang isla ang Pilipinas. How do you respond to that? What is your reaction to this statement?
Well, as long as kami, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is concerned, it is our right to protect our territorial waters and our sovereign rights in the exclusive economic zone. Kung may mga bansa na umaangkin na mga isla na ito, no? It is our right, of course, to defend na sabihin natin na illegal naman talaga yung ganung.
Sir, because of this conflict in the West Philippines, I'm sure that when it comes to national security, the armed forces is so careful in our dealings with China nowadays. Are we?
Yes, we are. No, yes, we are. But we have to remember that China still is our biggest trading partner.
Correct. But on the matters of national security, we are so careful.
Yes.
But there were criticisms that the armed forces of the Philippines allowed the Chinese to install their gadgets, their telecommunication lines in the military camps in the Philippines. Is that true? And how do you respond to that criticisms?
If you're referring to the telcos building their towers inside the camps, it was actually an accommodation made by the armed forces, because in the past there were several instances when the towers were destroyed by elements of the communist terrorists or local terrorists, no? Pinapasabog nila yung mga telcos, yung mga towers, no? Pinapabagsak nila. So there was an agreement that came out before. I was still a young officer when this came out, na kaya nga pinayagan, no? Kasi kami nung for instance, when I was a battalion commander, one of my tasks was to make sure that none of these towers will be blown. Talagang pinapatrolyahan namin yan. So sabi namin, instead of us putting detachments in every tower, so kung meron kayong tower at kaya naman na ilagay sa loob ng kampo, mas maganda, at least mapoprotektahan na namin, no? So that was the initial objective of that. Kaya may mga ganun, no? May mga ganun agreement. But recently, because ito nga, may mga nagsasabi na itong mga towers na ito ay nagagamit, na parang nag-iispiya sa atin.
Could infiltrate.
At na-infiltrate. We are now very careful with this. And in
Is
fact,
that possible, sir? That we've been infiltrated for the past years
naman.
already?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Itong mga telcos naman na ito, yung towers nila, are really used to transmit signals. For example, dun sa mga cellphone natin and so on. So, pero hindi siya talaga nakatutok sa military na para may kuha silang mga information. And I don't think they were able to get information from us, no?
Right now, sir, because you are that careful, have you taken some measures just to erase or have peace of mind within the AFP?
Yes, definitely. So one of the efforts that we're doing now is that we are strengthening our cyber defense. No? Pinapalakas natin yung ating mga networks, at we are protecting our networks from attacks, no? From hacks, for instance. At halos araw-araw may mga attacks tayo.
So are we prepared to counter that attacks?
We have been successful so far in warding.
Because we are using civilian platforms.
Wala naman talagang minamanufacture yung ng sarili. So we have to depend on existing platforms na we can procure, no? But we are now very careful when it comes to the procurement of new equipment and new software and our cyber warfare capability. So palalakihin natin yung command, no, from a group, gagawin natin command, cyber command, no?
I don't want to mention this sana, but I think pwede rin na ma-discuss because there were reports that dumadami daw ang Chinese sa Pilipinas. And there were reports na may mga Chinese teams out to really spy and everything. Are you alarmed by these reports, sir?
We have read these reports. And of course, we are doing things.
Are you alarmed by that, sir?
Oh yes, of course. But we are also in the process of verifying them. Kasi hindi naman talaga tayo maniniwala kaagad. For instance, dun sa mga recent na mga raid sa mga pogo o raid sa mga bahay na sinasabi nila na kuta ng mga infiltrators, no? At may mga nakuha mga barel, no? So we have to verify this very closely.
So you are confirming that there are reports, that you receive,
yes, there are reports
on this. And handa ba tayo? Do you have enough resources? Do you have enough money to, spy on them also? Intelligence fund, confidential funds? Would you ask for more allocation next time to augment your confidential intelligence to concentrate on these threats?
Ito lang ang masasabi ko. When we talk about territorial defense, we are not just looking outside. We are not just kaya nga, I don't want to use the term external defense, no? Because it's a misnomer, nakatingin tayo sa labas. If we want to defend our territory, we should not just look outward. We should also look inward, no? And this is very important dahil baka no? Marami nang na-infiltrate sa ating mga institutions. So dapat talagang mag-ingat tayo. This could be one of the strategies that a country could do to another country. No? So we have to guard against that. And in order for us to do that, hindi lang kami sa armed forces. Dapat magtulong-tulong tayo lahat mga Pilipino. Kung meron po kayong mapansin na mga kakaiba, no? Kunwari mga dumadami na mga grupo na hindi naman taga roon. At isa lang ang alam nilang salita. Hindi sila marunong mag-Tagalog, for instance. Or mag-Pilipino, i-report nyo sa amin. I-report nyo sa police. It's a national effort.
You mentioned about guarding our territory from other countries. There's this comment, nag-text sa akin yung isang military colonel active. Right now po, I do not see any issue with what the AFP is doing to accomplish its mandate, especially on the domestic front. I am concerned though on the AFP's readiness to confront aggression, terrorism from other nations on the scale comparable to what Ukraine and Israel are facing. How do you respond to that, sir?
We are in the process. Alam nyo, mahabang proseso ito. For the longest time, your armed forces of the Philippines has been involved in a lot of conflicts, internal conflicts dito sa atin. We were confronting the communist terrorist group, yung mga New People's Army, yung armed group nila. From a high of 25,000 fighters, they are now down to a little more than 1,000. No? Kukunti na lang. At hinihikayat namin sila na mag-surrender. No? At magbagong buhay para makasama nila yung mga mahal nila sa buhay. From a high of so many terrorists, no? They are now down to a few hundreds. Kasi nga nung Marawi siege, nagtipon-tipon lahat itong mga terorista sa Marawi. So we were able to defeat a lot of them, no? A big part of them. Ngayon, that we are now looking towards defending our archipelago, we need more ships, we need more aircraft, we need more missile systems, and so on. Kaya't unti-unti tayo nagmo-modernize. At ito, kailangan natin ng tulong ng ating gobyerno, ng ating kongreso, para madagdagan yung ating pondo.
We believe in you in that, General Bonner. But sad to say, kahit sa dinami-dami ng ating accomplishments and programs na ini-implement, nabigla po ang sambayan ng Pilipino in the past few days na napabalitang may nagtatangka na magkudeta. Do you believe that there's enough reasons ang mga military to just talk about kudeta, the possibility of having kudeta in these crucial times in the history of our country? Sasagutin po yan ni Gerald Bronner pagkatapos po ng ilang paalala.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas! Magandang gabi, Pilipinas!
Ito na ngayon ang bagong mukha ng sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas. Hinubog ng ilang dekadang puno ng hamon, aral at oportunidad na masasalamin sa bagong henerasyon ng mga tagapagtanggol ng lupang sinilangan. Sabay sa makabagong panahon, lalo ring pinaigting ng gobyerno ang pagmomodernisa sa mga kagamitan at sasakyang pandigma upang lalong maging handa sa anumang panganib sa loob man o labas ng bansa. Gayunpaman, tila hindi pa rin mawala-wala ang mga ugong-ugong tungkol sa mga nais umanong sumira sa kapangyarihan at integridad ng pamahalaan. Paano tinitiyak ni General Romeo Bronner na wala ng puwang sa kanilang institusyon ang pagbaliktad sa sinumpang misyon na minsan na ring humila sa pag-usad ng bansa?
General Bronner, may sapat ba na mga rason kung bakit ang mga sundalo natin ay magdidiscuss, mag-usap-usap, bigyan ng pansin itong kudeta?
Alam nyo, malayo na po yung narating ng ating Armed Forces of the Philippines when it comes to the discipline and professionalism of our soldiers. Nung ako po ay kadete at bagong tinyente sa Philippine Army, nadaanan namin ito. Yung 86 Revolution, 87 Revolution, 89 coup d'etat, and so on, and coup d'etats that followed. At nakita natin yung epekto sa ating bansa. No? Instead na mag-develop, mag-progress yung ating bansa, parang umatras pa tayo ng 10 taon. We used to be number 1 in the ASEAN. When it comes to progress and development, our armed forces was number 1, second only to Japan in the region. But again, because of the internal conflicts that we had to fight, and the coup d'etats that happened in our country, this took us backwards. Instead na maka-progress tayo. Ngayon, ang ating mga kasundaluhan ay hindi na halos nag-iisip ng mga ganito. Because we are focused on our jobs, and we know that if any of us would be involved in this, the government will act swiftly. Sabi nga namin, marami tayong problema na hinaharap, lalong-lalo na ngayon, with territorial defense, so doon tayo mag-focus.
Okay. Sir, just to clarify, ano ba talaga ang mga rason? Bakit magkukudeta?
Well, iba't ibang mga rason eh.
Like?
Balikan natin yung mga una, no? Okay. Yung mga ibang sundalo, nag-kudeta sila.
Dahil?
Dahil sira-sira yung mga combat boots, sira-sira yung mga uniforme nila, wala silang maayos na tulugan. Mga iba naman ay hinikayat nila yung mga sundalo na sumama sa kanila dahil gusto nilang palitan ang gobyerno. There are many reasons, but what we have to remember really is that these are not valid, no? These are not valid for us to destroy our country.
Could an internal conflict within the organization of the Armed Forces of the Philippines trigger a kudeta? Like, may mga reports kasi na may mga senior military officers ang floating ngayon because there are officers na deserving hindi sila nalalagay sa mga positions. Is that possible, General?
Well, sa ngayon, wala naman tayong nakikitang gano'n.
Wala bang mga floating generals ngayon?
Meron naman. May mga
What are the reasons?
Kaso,
bakit sila
may
floating?
mga kaso sila. Kung meron man mga na-displace, ay hinahanapan naman natin ng mga posisyon nito. I do not believe that merong widespread dissolution, mga disenchantment in the armed forces.
Posible ba, sir, na may mga retired military officers na kumakausap sa mga sundalo natin na medyo sila ang naapektuhan? Posible ba yun?
Posible yan, no? Posible. But yun nga, kung meron man mga ganyan, mga grupo sa labas na meron silang mga political interests and so on, ang pakiusap ko lang talaga is that i-isolate natin yung armed forces. We have to protect our armed forces. No?
Clear po yan, sir. Walang loyalty check ngayon.
Wala. Hindi tayo naglo-loyalty check. Sa nakikita kong takbo ng ating armed forces, malayong-malayo dun sa mga nakaraan.
Pacified ng issue about the MUP, sir?
Yes, oo. Nagpapasalamat niya kami. Although hindi pa lumabas yung batas, no? But we see the effort of our lawmakers. Yung concern nila ay para sa mga sundalo natin at yung mga pamilya nila ay talagang nandun po sa ating mga opisyal ng gobyerno.
When can we finally say that we are now prioritizing the external threat over the internal threats? The President has just ordered to end communist insurgency, itong CPP, NPA and all, this year. And we only have November and December. That's barely 2 months. Paano tayo nakakasiguro na matatapos natin ito bago ang 2024?
Well, umiikot ako sa mga units natin at nagbibigay ako rin ng mga reminders, reminding them of the urgency of that task that was given to us by the President, our Commander-in-Chief, no? Si President Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Jr. Very clear yon na dapat at the end of the year, 2023, natapos na natin yung problema ng communist insurgency and local terrorism. Talagang halos araw-araw, no? Makikita na babasa ko yung mga reports of all our units really operating, no? Hinahanap nila yung mga natitirang mga armadong grupo. Tuloy-tuloy rin yung mga nagsusurrender. So we are confident that by the end of the year, 2023, we will have achieved total victory.
Sir.
And then by 2024, mag-shift na tayo to territorial defense.
Sir, I am a living witness to the accomplishments of the military. And I've seen how you bend, paano nyo pinapataas ang PC ninyo, just to win the hearts of the masses and understand those who are in the other side. But paano nyo tinatanggap pag trinaydor kayo? There were 2 activists, environmental activists that you've helped, pero binaliktad kayo. Kayo na ang tumulong, kayo pa ang masama. How do you feel about that? You're the chief of staff. What's your order to your men?
Well, personally, I feel betrayed, but I feel sad also for them. For these 2 young ladies, no? Dahil nawala yung oportunidad na magbalik loob sila, no? Binigay na natin lahat eh. In fact, nung sila mismo nagsabi na gusto nilang magbalik loob, no? Huwag na nating sabihing surrender, magbalik loob. At tinawag na natin yung mga magulang nila, no? Nagtawag tayo ng mga medical personnel para tignan kung if they're healthy. Nagtawag tayo ng mga lawyers, no? And we gave them the opportunity to meet the press so that they could tell the people kung ano talaga yung napagdaanan nila dun sa loob, sa movement nila. At sana, ang gusto sana natin is i-convince rin nila yung ibang mga nandun sa loob. Gawin rin yung ginawa nila na nagbalik loob, pero yun nga, iba yung nangyari, no? So we are really sad for them. Nag-file tayo ng kaso, no, against them for perjury. Dahil very clear yung salaysay nila, yung statement nila, no? They were also given a chance na palitan nila yon, pero hindi nila pinalitan in front of a lawyer. So very sad. Nalulungkot lang kami. Sayang. No?
Kung may pagkakataon, General, makapagpatawad ba ang isang Chief of Staff ng Armed Forces o si General Bronner kapag babawiin nila ang kanilang salaysay na sila'y pinilit, na sila'y kinidnap ng mga militar?
Personally, ako, no, as a person, I would forgive them. But we have our justice system, we have institutions. Yun na ngayon yung ginagawa natin. We are going through the judicial system of our country. Kung they say na gusto nila magbagong buhay talaga, no? Since yung talagang very sincere sila, then we should bring them back. Kung yung Panginoon niya nagfo-forgive, no? So dapat tayo rin.
Sir, the Israel and Hamas war is raging. In 2018 and 2022, there were 2 attempts mag-infiltrate ang Hamas sa Pilipinas. May nahuling bomber and nahuling gustong gawa ng karahasan sa Pilipinas. How prepared are we to face these challenges na hindi pa rin mawawala na madamay ang Pilipinas sa gulong ito?
Alam niyo, nung nagsimula yung gera sa Israel, between Israel and Hamas, ay nagbigay rin tayo ng message sa lahat ng mga units natin, reminding them to be vigilant, no? For any possible attacks also. Any spillovers, if we can call it like that. Dahil nagtawag sila ng international jihad. No? Nagtawag sila ng lahat ng mga terorista na umatake rin around the world. And fortunately, dito sa ating bansa, wala tayong na monitor na ganyan. But we are still very vigilant and we are asking our kababayans na dapat tulungan din tayo, no, sa pagkuha ng mga intelligence, mga information, kung meron man mga ganyan. Dahil ayaw rin natin mangyari sa bansa natin.
In these crucial times of our country, would you like to make an appeal to our young people to be more patriotic, ensuring that the ROTC programs can help promote patriotism among our young people, and those reservists, those willing to volunteer in the name of our national sovereignty? How should we invite all Filipinos to be one in these crucial times?
Alam niyo po, if we look at the events happening around the world, we look at Ukraine versus Russia, we look at Israel against Hamas, and we saw the importance of the roles of citizen warriors. No? Doon po sa Ukraine, makikita natin na ang lumalaban para sa kanilang bansa ay yung mga citizens, yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan. No? Nung umatake yung Hamas doon sa Israel, ang mga unang dumipensa, yung mga tao mismo, no? Yung mga reservists nila. Because in fact, in Israel, everybody is trained to be fighters. No? Dito sa atin, gusto rin nating ihanda ang ating mga mamamayan. Not just to become warriors, no? But to help in nation building. Kasi naniniwala tayo na meron tayong roles lahat. No? For instance, kung magkaroon ng disasters, dapat lahat tayo ay tumutulong. And pagka nagkaroon ng, let's say, invasion, no? Lahat tayo dapat, isa lang tayo. We should be ready to defend our country.
What do you think is the best solution, or maybe the suggestion coming from General Bronner? Here comes problems on poverty, education, but we want to modernize our AFP. Paano natin ibabalance yun? Is it now high time to prioritize our defense, territorial defense? Here comes Japan. They're giving 12 ships, 12 patrol boats, radars to our Philippine Air Force and Navy. It seems that other countries are one in our conflict in the West Philippine Sea. How do you see all of these things coming from the Philippine government, its support to the military?
Well, it's not because I'm in the military that I want more support, no? But I really see the need for us to develop a strong armed forces, no? A strong defensive posture. Kahit na marami tayong pagkain, no? Magagaling yung ating mga estudyante, pero pag sinakop tayo ng ibang bansa, mawawala lahat ito. So we have really to establish a very strong armed forces. One suggestion from us would be to place a certain percentage of GDP allocated solely for defense capability, and also our defense industry.
Is that included in our 2024 budget?
Wala, hindi pa. GAA pa rin tayo. No? Other countries are like that. They allocate a certain percentage of their GDP for defense. So yun rin ang gusto natin. And part of that spending will go to defense, our defense industry. Dapat po tayo mismo ang gumagawa ng ating mga baril, mga bala, mga tangke.
Hindi ba tayong gumagawa ng sarili nating bala?
Dati, hindi, bala, gumagawa tayo pero kulang.
Yung baril natin?
Baril, binibili natin from abroad. But in the past...
but we are capable.
We are capable. In the past, tayo mismo ang gumagawa ng mga baril natin. Tayong gumagawa ng mga radyo natin. In fact, may mga rockets tayo. Ang tawag natin yung mga bongbong rockets. Meron na tayong defense industry noon. Yun ang kailangan natin palakasin. Yung ibang bansa, for instance, Vietnam, they make their own drones. Gumagawa sila ng sarili nilang drones. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin.
Kailangan magising tayo sa mundong ito na ito na talaga ang kalakaran. Na whether we like it or not.
Whether we like it or not. No? Huwag tayong magbulag-bulagan sa nangyayari sa buong mundo. It's happening. And if we say na imposibleng mangyari sa atin, we are already falling into the narrative of our enemies or our competitors. Huwag tayong maniwala, no? Dapat laging handa tayo.
The Filipino people's watching right now, do you have any message, appeal to everyone?
Kami po sa Armed Forces of the Philippines ay nananawagan sa ating mga kababayan dito sa ating bansa na magkaisa tayo. Marami tayong problema na hinaharap, no? At isa sa mga problema natin, ito ngang pagdepensa natin ng ating bayan. Huwag po tayong magbulag-bulagan na sabihin na hindi tayo apektado sa nangyayari sa buong mundo ito. We have to be ready. That's why we are asking our citizens to be open-minded. No? Lahat po tayo ay dapat magmatsyag ng mabuti kung ano nangyayari sa ating paligid, lalong-lalo na dito sa ating bansa. We might be infiltrated already by other countries. So we trust our people, we trust our government to help us in this endeavor. And we would like to assure you also that your armed forces of the Philippines will remain loyal to the Constitution and to the duly constituted authorities. And we will always be here to protect our country and to protect you, our Filipino people.
Sir, message to our soldiers, to all our law enforcers supporting the government, to the students and young people who want to be a part of protecting the territorial integrity, the reservists, and all those volunteers in the Defense Department.
Sa ating mga kasundaluhan, sa ating mga police, the other uniformed services, yung ating mga firemen, yung mga jail guards, yung ating mga reservists, no? Mga Coast Guard, and everyone who are involved in the defense of our country. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyo, sa serbisyo po ninyo. At I am asking for you to remain loyal to the oath that we have taken, that we will always be ready to defend our country and our people. Let us continue doing the good job that we are doing for our country. My snappy salute to all of you.
Sa panahong muling sumusulpot ang mga sigalot at tensyon, nakikita ng pamahalaan ang kahalagahan ng isang matatag na sandatahang lakas. Bit-bit ang mga aral ng nakaraan at kasalukuyan. Isinilang ang mas makatao at mas makabansang hanay ng depensa na tanging kapakanan ng bansa ang pinapanigan. Dahil ang pagbantay sa ating kalayaan ay pagtiyak sa ating kinabukasan.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas!
Hanggang sa muli, maraming salamat. Ako po si Cesar Soriano at ito ang Magandang Gabi, Pilipinas.